Billy Carson coping for 27 minutes about the debate loss. The Billy Carson stuff only gets worse, and we're about to check it out. I mean, the comment section, I don't want to read too much because it's going to spoil the video. So
I didn't know I was going over there to do this kind of debate. I thought we were having a casual conversation on spirituality, and I wasn't really even fully in my right mind. I've just almost died a few days before going to his house, literally.
Oh, get out. I'm done. Literally. I'm out. Hey, you have fun with this. I'm out.
And so he took advantage of that. I'm on their tongue and their lips every minute of the day. When they go to sleep, they dream about me. When they wake up, the first thing they do before they kiss their wife or their boyfriend, they talk about me. They post me and call my name 24 hours a day, nonstop.
Come on, Billy.
They're absolutely infatuated with me. We're gonna attack Billy Carson. We must do everything we possibly can, including making fake accounts, making bots and robot accounts to comment and hate and try to thumbs down videos and attack and threats against his 12-year-old child. Okay. I just got the IV bandage out. I was in the hospital with a severe case of pneumonia, and that pneumonia was so severe that it literally almost killed me. And my whole right side was completely full of bacteria. And then the left side was almost full. I had only 25% oxygen support. My body was going into septic shock, white blood cell count trending up towards 40. I lost 22 pounds and was...
And that's actually very sad. Of course, we don't want nobody to be ill and be out there, on their deathbed. But Billy, this has nothing to do with the stuff that you said. I hope he's not going to say, well, and because of all of this, I was up there misquoting sources and quoting forgeries and made it look like I didn't know what I was talking about. This is the reason why Wesley cooked me. Come on, man.
And some of the posts that she had made, people were commenting, that black guy, these are the Christian followers of this cult. That black guy looks like he's on drugs, and people commenting, yeah, he's on drugs, he's a dope addict, and all these crazy comments. This is how they uplift you. This is the enlightened people.
But you guys see what I'm saying, though, right? He has to follow in line with what his wife said. He has to follow in line with what his wife said, or else it's gonna be embarrassing.
These are the chosen ones, right? Well, I look sick in the video because I actually was sick. Matter of fact, before the video started, I had a bottle of water, and I told him, look, you may have to stop this a couple times because I can't really breathe that well yet. My lungs are still recovering, and I coughed from time to time because I was trying to cough up still a little bit of phlegm in there from the pneumonia. After I got done with the IVs, they moved me on to the actual tablet or pill. You take these huge horse pills and got to keep taking those antibiotics until your lungs are clear. But it's still a long healing process, a 12-week healing process. And I got like a week and a half or two to go for this healing process. Now, why is that important? Why is that important to this whole thing? Well, because I wasn't even supposed to leave the house. I was extremely sick. I had just had a near-death experience in the hospital a few days prior, got released. I had been so sick for the 2 weeks leading up to the hospitalization, trying to get back to America, trying to stay alive. And then I'm bedridden, and I just feel like, man, I just got to get up and do something. I just can't lay down like this. I just can't do it. Like, for a person as active as me, it felt horrible. I felt like I was, completely useless. So I get a call from Mark. It's like, hey man, we're gonna hop on a podcast, I'm like, okay, yeah. I'm like, that sounds like a good idea. Something I can do. And all I gotta do is go around the corner from my house. I don't have to even leave the neighborhood. I don't have to go on an airplane, which is what I usually have to do. I can just literally walk around the corner and go in his house. So that's what I did. My wife was extremely unhappy that I told her I was going to go over there. I was like, I'll just be like 30 minutes or so. It won't be a big deal. He just wants to have a conversation. We're going to talk about some things. He got somebody else coming on. I really thought it was just going to be like a casual conversation about our perspectives on reality and our perspectives on religion versus spirituality. I really didn't know it was going to be any kind of a debate. Okay, it's more like more of an ambush situation. And I have all the text messages to prove this, which are going to be in the discovery for defendant number 1. Anyway, so I go over there. I'm a little gassed, but whatever. I'm just happy to be involved in anything at this point. I sit down, get mic'd up and everything else. I get myself some water. I give him that warning about my coughing so that he knows, like, if you just pause it every now and then, you might have to edit the coughs out. Okay, I think that's on recording actually from the beginning of the video. That they probably edited that out already, whatever. And then he brings on this guy on the screen, defendant number 2. So defendant number 2 comes on the screen. I have no idea who this guy is. I literally have no clue who this guy is. I don't know his name. I don't know who he is. I don't recognize him from anywhere. Some Joe Schmo off the street. I have no clue who this guy is. But whatever. He seemed like a nice gentleman. I thought we were going to have a really nice conversation.
He's the guy who knows pretty much more than you do when it comes down to Christian manuscripts.
Now, this whole time, I'm thinking this is just going to be a conversational based thing. Not a big deal. I don't got to stress my brain. I don't got to think too hard. We're just talking. And then Mark gets this guy on the live feed, and he says, "Hey, we're gonna have a little debate." I'm like, "A debate?" He's like, "Yeah, we're gonna talk about this, your perspective of religion and stuff and so on, whatever." And I'm like, "Huh?" I'm like, "Okay, whatever." And so now in the debate, the way that this works, I've been in debates before, real debates. Okay, like from school, the debate club. I understand what a real debate actually is because I've actually been in actual real debates. There's a moderator, a person that moderates. The moderator, him or herself, does not interfere with the conversation. They don't interfere, you see? They don't commandeer the conversation. And the moderator is there to allow both parties to actually get a chance to talk and get their point across. But that's not what happened. What happened was, as we opened this up, the moderator asked the first question, not the defendant number 2. Okay? Now, that's interesting. So I go, okay, this is from the jump. I'm like, well, that's kind of strange. If this is a debate, then it's supposed to...
It's so weird, though, because the moderator was literally on his side. Like, towards the end, the moderator was, like, posing so many complaints about how the Old Testament and Jesus kind of, like, conflict each other. And that's why he loves Jesus more. But if it was just for the Old Testament, he probably wouldn't even be a Christian. I mean, he was literally doing this during the debate.
And the moderator was supposed to be a Christian, who he so calls himself a Christian, but he was on Billy's side, like contradicting, oh, this contradicts that, and it annoys me, you know, why couldn't God just do this? Why couldn't God just do that? I'm not making this up. Go and look
he was
at it for
on
yourself.
Billy Carson's side when they started talking about the Old Testament. But what is he talking about? And from the beginning up until that point, Billy and Wesley were able to talk. Mark just sounded like a complete fool when he jumped in. He didn't like destroy the conversation. He just sounded like somebody who just didn't need to talk in that moment.
So the first thing he asked me is about the gospel, the gospel of Jesus's wife. Okay, I think that was the first thing. It might have been the second thing, but it might have been the first thing. Either that or the Sinai Bible question.
It was a sign.
And I'm like, okay, whatever. So I give my answer about the gospel of Jesus's wife, you know, to what I knew about it. Not even a deep answer, just a very surface answer. I'm just like, whatever, man. You know, I'm just surviving at this moment. And then the gentleman.
Come on, Billy. I'm just giving a whatever answer. Like, you know, I'm just surviving at this point. Bro, get out of here with that, dude. What are you talking about, bro?
Defendant number 2. He comes back with all this rhetoric about it's a known fake and it's this and that and everything else and it's no good and it doesn't exist and blah, 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 or it's fake or whatever he's talking about. I'm like, okay, well, let me get my rebuttal in on this fakeness. But I never got a chance to get my rebuttal in because I had something very important to say about that, which I'm going to talk about tonight about the gospel of Jesus's wife.
So this are credible sources and agreed upon by not just the vast majority of scholarship, but I don't know anybody in the field of.
Yo, wait, let me rewind that. Shout out to Life Reacts, man, for bringing that on.
And agreed upon by not just the vast majority of scholarship, but I don't know anybody in the field of papyrology, paleography, historiography who actually refers to these documents as being legitimate.
That's fair enough. I can respect that.
Look at that. He said, that's fair enough. I can respect that, and then moved on. This is when they were talking about the gospel of Jesus's wife. That's his response. That's fair enough. I can respect that. And then I remember he jumped straight into, he's like, okay, well, let's talk about the Old Testament.
He changed
so why
the
is he
convo.
lying like he didn't get a chance to respond?
And then the Wes was like, no. Do you mind if I can address Jesus' wife?
And as soon as I say one thing, the other guy, defendant number 2, he's overriding and talking over me. I'm just sitting there patiently, just quiet, just okay. You can see me. I'm just.
That's not even true. If anybody watches the full, I'm glad the full was out. In the full video, Wes's connection didn't start tripping out until the end, and then Billy was like, "I gotta go." So that's not even true. I don't know why he's acting like every time he got to rebuttal, his connection was out.
This is one of the biggest cope fests I've ever seen in my life. Are you kidding me?
Absolutely.
So if it's this bad, why not let the debate go out and everybody see that this was contrived?
Right.
Why not let everybody see that and let everybody see, oh yeah, you know what, Wes was running. Oh yeah, it seems like, you know, every time, you know, why not let that show? That don't make any sense. But here you come trying to tell us about it and man, don't tell me, but show me. Don't tell.
Show us. He just talking about it.
This is bullcrap. This is and I said, Mark, this is garbage, man. What you guys? This is set up. This is ridiculous. Every time I have something to say, he's disconnecting. Man, I could see him literally disconnecting his video manually. And only one time I got to ask a couple of questions. I could see him on his screen on Chat GPT trying to look for the answer real quick. He gives some roundabout, ridiculous answer.
The guy whose website looks like this is on Chat GPT.
Oh, that's all from Chat GPT, bro.
Yeah, all of this.
Yeah, Chat GPT made those maps and those articles and those photos and
Yep. All this from Chat GPT, guys.
And I realized then that this was bogus
GPT
and unprofessional and something I would never want to be a part of. Absolute total trash.
I admit that the setup was garbage. I admit that he's right about that. The whole thing was just stupid. The moderator was dumb as a box of rocks.
Yep.
I agree. But you still said stuff that made that cooked yourself. So it doesn't matter.
I'm leaving, man. I gotta go. I have an air conditioning guy coming to my house. I have my mother-in-law coming into town, and something happened too. We have 5 AC units, and I don't even know which one of them is acting up.
Now about the AC.
Hey, he got 5 AC units. That's why he's there. Sinai Bible didn't contain the crucifixion, man.
So I'm not gonna miss this appointment for this trash. This is garbage.
Hey, man, why did you say the Sinai Bible didn't doesn't mention the crucifixion? I got 5 AC units.
My ACs and my mama.
And I'm getting hot
coming through.
My mama and them, they was on the way.
They was around.
You know what I mean? I just couple AC units went out. I don't know. I got 5 ACs. I didn't even know which one went out.
Hey, I'm thinking about my ACs. I'm thinking about my mama. Man, a lot going on, you know.
Mashallah, habibi.
I didn't sign any kind of release form. I never gave any authorization or consent. Luckily, because that now makes the video illegal to use with my likeness, my face, my voice. Any form, shape, any shape or form. Even if it's just a 10-second clip. Even if it's 1 second of me, I did not consent. Why? Because it's unprofessional, and I knew they were going to utilize it to show me in some type of a negative light for their own self-gain, for some type of clout chasing.
I do agree with that point. The problem is that it went out. So yeah, you can cry and complain about it getting out, but no one is like against you by saying, hey, if you went here and you didn't want this out, who cares? Forget you. The issue is that it just got out. So now you have to deal with the consequences of what you said on the podcast. We all can agree, if you do something and you don't want it out, but it still gets out, respectfully, dude, that's your fault. This is crazy, dude. The cope is insane right now.
Yeah, this is pretty bad, man. I'm not gonna lie. This is not a good move.
Wife, I get back to the house, I'm extremely pissed off and angry. I can barely breathe. I normally take the elevator upstairs when I was sick in my house.
I normally take the elevator in my house. So how can I not mix up Sinai and Gospel of Barnabas?
I can't believe
this in my house, bro.
This is happening.
I didn't take the elevator in my house, so
this is bad.
Wouldn't you mix up a source if you didn't take the elevator in your house?
I would. That's what I'm saying. I would.
Thank you.
I would.
I normally take the elevator up, but I was so pissed off, and I took the staircase up to the loft.
Oh.
When I got to the top of the staircase, I was so exhausted I couldn't even breathe. I didn't know I was going over there to do this kind of debate. I thought we were having a casual conversation on spirituality, and I wasn't really even fully in my right mind. I just almost died a few days before going to his house, literally.
Oh my days.
I'm out. Hey, you have fun with this. I'm out.
And so he took advantage of that. Goodness sake, my son has slept in this guy's house, you know? So I go over there at his behest, begging me to come over. I got all the messages. And I meet him at his house. His wife is home. His son is home. His son's eating a shake at the table, drinking the shake at the table, a smoothie or something. His wife is in the kitchen, heating some food up that she got from our chef. Our chef became their chef.
Oh my God.
Again, just showing the connection there. I've had a chef for 10 years and
The flex.
they like the food from coming over and eating the food at our house, and now they share our chef.
We got some food from our
She's
chef.
warming up some food for our chef.
From our
That
chef.
cooked for them. He agreed to not release anything of my footage.
Oh, okay.
Gentleman's handshake. It didn't look good for him or me. It was very unprofessional, very clownish, very childish. And if somebody edits it, it's going to look really one-sided and stupid.
I understand you did a gentleman's handshake and et cetera, but my guy, you had a conversation with Wes, you talked about things, and it got out. Now, is the other guy wrong for posting this conversation? Yes, I agree with that. I agree with what Billy is saying. If he told him after he had this conversation or after he came to his house and got on this podcast and had a conversation with Wesley or whatever, if he said, "Hey man, I don't like how it went. It's a little sloppy. I would like it to be a little bit better than that." And the guy agreed to not post it and still posted it. Yes, that's wrong.
He says that they're attacking him.
But
He's
it's not
under a lot
illegal.
of pressure. This guy is really scared now. I'm like, what kind of pressure can you be under for a damn clumsy video that was horrible? Guys disconnecting 5-6 times in the video. Half the time he's not even on the screen. You're talking too much. I can't get a word in. I look frustrated. I can't say what I want to say. I'm walking out. Like, what is so frustrating about this video? It's so raggedy. I don't care if it was legitimate. I wouldn't even put any crap like that because it looks stupid. It makes us look like we're amateurs. The next thing I know, the video's out. I'm actually sleeping in my movie theater in my house. I have a movie theater. I'm sleeping in the movie theater.
Oh my
Come on,
days.
Kind of
Billy.
What
passed out watching the game.
What's wrong with this guy? I have a chef. It's like, did you purposely? Oh, I'm telling you, it's the demon, because he's demon possessed. He's a false prophet. I've been calling it from day one. False prophet, but
That
Come on, Billy, with the flex. I'm actually sleeping in, when this came out, I'm actually sleeping in my movie theater. My movie theater, man. I'm just in my movie theater sleeping, and then the video comes out. Yeah.
the information about the Sinai Bible, which has a lot of differences than the King James Version of the Bible. It's also called the Codex Sinaiticus. And what I had said in a few podcasts, which probably only 2 or 3 podcasts I had mentioned, and of course,
Codex Sinaiticus, y'all. Codex Sinaiticus, y'all. It's Sinaiticus, dude. Oh my goodness.
reels and clips were made, and they were then edited and put out all over the place. Or that in the Sinai Bible, it appeared that Jesus had never been crucified. I said it's quite possible that Jesus was never crucified.
Huh?
Not once anywhere that say Jesus was never crucified. It says quite possible that Jesus was never crucified, or he might not have been crucified, depending on what podcast I was on.
Whoa! No. Hold
This
up.
man's a
'cause
liar.
I got it here.
According to
you,
the Sinai
Life.
Bible, Jesus wasn't crucified in that Bible.
Do you mind if I ask a clarifying question?
He said he never said that. Come on, Billy, you over here lying, dude. Stop,
yeah,
man.
innit?
Stop lying, man. And then they got him saying it multiple times too here.
Yep.
Never got crucified. As a matter of fact, the Sinai Bible, Jesus was
Sinai
crucified.
Bible.
Well, that doesn't exist in the Sinai Bible. The Sinai Bible. The Sinai Bible, but then you go to the Sinai Bible. In the Sinai Bible and the Sinai Bible, according to the Sinai Bible, Jesus wasn't crucified in that Bible. So this question came up during the deepfake as not a question in a way that it would be asked in a real debate, but it was an attack from the very beginning because they thought they had answers that would debunk whatever I said in a podcast somewhere one day. So the Codex Sinaiticus, often referred to as the Sinai Bible, is a 4th century Greek manuscript of the Bible. In contrast, the King James Version is the KJV, is an English translation completed in 1611. Comparing these two involves examining differences in textual context, translation choices, and theological interpretations. And so here's the textual variations. Scholars estimate that there are approximately 14,800 differences between the Codex Sinaiticus and the King James Version. These variations range from minor discrepancies to wording to significant differences in the content. For instance, the Codex Sinaiticus includes books like the Epistle of Barnabas and the Shepherd of Hermas, which are absent in the King James Version. Notable omissions: several passages presented in the King James Version are missing from the Codex Sinaiticus. Mark 16:9 through 20, the longer ending Mark detailing the post-resurrection appearances of Jesus is absent, doesn't exist. It's not in there. That's Biblical Archaeology Review. Biblical Archaeology Review, that's the source. Just one of them. There's 8 sources, but that's just one of them.
This is embarrassing.
John 53, 8:11. The account of the woman caught in adultery is not included. Biblical Archaeology Review. Source: Luke 24:51. The phrase, and was carried up into heaven, describing Jesus' ascension, is missing. Biblical Archaeology Review.
That doesn't prove any, what is this?
They based 100,000 videos, and I do mean 100,000 videos of complete foolishness off of this information.
What did that prove? First of all, if we go into the longer ending of Mark, just before that it talks about him being crucified. The longer ending of Mark is the situation after he was crucified. And the other 2 passages didn't even address what he's trying to prove. He said that book doesn't contain Jesus being crucified. He literally posed issues with variants or missing passages from the Codex Sinaiticus pertaining to the King James Version or etc. But the problem is that your point was that the crucifixion is not in there. It doesn't say Jesus was crucified. I mean, this is literally the same thing as the Muslim shuffle. Let me go show you other issues with the text. Now, all of a sudden, the crucifixion narrative is not in Codex Sinaiticus because I went and showed other issues somewhere else. The longer ending of Mark, detailed post-resurrection appearance. Post-resurrection appearance of Jesus is absent. Just before this, his crucifixion is recorded. So we don't have to address that right now because you're supposed to be talking about how he is how him being crucified is actually not in the book. John, the account of woman caught in adultery, that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. The phrase was carried up into heaven, that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Was he crucified? And the answer is yes, it is in this book.
Is it possible Karen King was explicitly pressured into stating that the gospel of Jesus' wife was likely a forgery? It's possible to consider factors that may have influenced her acknowledgement of the fragment's questionable authenticity. Scholars, especially those in high-profile positions, can face significant academic, institutional, and public scrutiny, which might feel like pressure. And it could put pressure on them to some degree. So, what they're saying is when people are doing these things, when people are, coming up with discoveries that could upturn the apple cart, it actually puts a lot of pressure on the Christian community because they have this mainstream ideology that they don't want to bend or break because it's been in place for eons. And what kind of academic pressure can they put on you? Now I'm going to go into some actual recent, or not recent, but fairly recent in my terms of understanding history and dates and times and geological timescales, evidence of this happening before.
Or it could just be.
And I'm not saying this thing is 100% real. What I'm telling you is I'm giving you a different perspective, which is what I always do. Academic pressure. The academic community largely dismissed the fragment after critical analysis revealed it was likely a modern forgery. Reputable scholars published detailed examinations and institutions emphasized rigorous standards, and this overwhelming consensus could have created a sense of academic obligation for King to align with the evidence. She was extremely gung-ho for a very long time and fought against saying it was fake. That's an absolute fact. She fought against it initially. After the story gained international attention, there was considerable media focus on King and her research. A lot of pressure. Sounds like defendant number one's text messages. The pressure he was under. Sounds familiar to you?
So basically what he's saying is he's posing this source, he posed this source, and he doesn't know if it's true or not, but what he's going to say is that there's a possibility that this could be true, there's a possibility that it could be false, but I'm also going to use the source. And when people are telling me that this source is possibly fake, I'm also going to present information that can show that this person was possibly forced into claiming that it was fake because of the overwhelming pressure of her peers to come out and say that it was fake. But all of this is like we said, possibility. Even if this thing was written by somebody back then, that still doesn't make it true. We have earlier writings where people made statements about Christ that was still false. So whether it's a forgery or not, we can still see we have an overwhelming evidence about church history that can literally debunk this if someone actually did write this in that specific time period, which I think, what is it, the 4th century? So even if they did write it in the 4th century, that doesn't make it true.
Investigators report reputable scholars publish detailed examination institutions, overwhelming. Okay, so then here it goes. The public scrutiny and media. After the story gained international attention, there was considerable media focus on her research. And investigative reports such as Atlantic's expose further cast doubt on the papyrus. So an outside source came and said, no, we can't. They got pressure, and they came with the external pressure and said, no, we can't let this go out. This can't be known as accurate. This public spotlight might have added external pressure to respond transparently. Institutional and professional expectations. Harvard Divinity School and other academic institutions would naturally be cautious about potential reputational damage, and it's conceivable that indirect pressure arose from the need to maintain the integrity of these institutions. Sound familiar? NASA, making up lies about different things that they do. Yeah, they tell the truth in some things, but a lot of things they tell are obfuscated or lied about. And other organizations within government and everywhere else, especially when you're talking about anything doing with government and religion. Those two things are filled with the most lies and obfuscation and oppression.
I'm sorry. This man is a waffler. Meaning he just yabs and yabs. He goes on and on and on and on about things that don't make sense. And for me, it's disingenuous, disrespectful. Why? Because be a man, address the situation at hand. Why go into things that are meaningless? There'll be more credibility to your name if you're like, okay, look, I messed up in this. Okay, I wasn't quite aware. People would respect that more. Your empire will be intact. All he cares about is money. That's what's taking place right now. He's built all of this stuff with money and lying and going against the Bible. And because it's a lie, every lie will be exposed one day. There's nothing that will stay hidden under the sun. Everything will be brought to light and exposed. And now it's his time, and he's being exposed in real time. And he's not, his wife ruined it though. I'm gonna have to be honest. His wife just took things to the next level. If you haven't seen the wife video yet, I believe I've posted it on this channel. If I haven't posted on this channel, just type my name, Ronnie, or just type Ronnie MP. Then you should see it posted on one of my channels right there. But guys, look, let me know what you think in regards to this. I tried to keep this under 27 minutes so it matches as well, but it's roughly 28. But we'll just name it 27-ish, round about that mark. God bless you all. Let me know your comments in the comments.